You rented Conan and lost your mind. Metal clanged, memory surged, childhood roared. These are 20 wild facts about Conan the Barbarian.
No one in this world can you trust. Not men, not women, not beasts.
Just like those VHS nights you'll never forget. Grip your lucky remote, the Hyborian saga dives deep. Fact number 1. The One True Conan. Arnold nearly didn't become Conan. 8 other Hercules clones were in the running. Picture yourself back in '82. You scraped together allowance cash, rented the tape, and settled in. Meanwhile, John Milius sat through audition after audition of pumped up bodies and blank stares. Then, Schwarzenegger swaggered in, accent thick, grin wider than a woolly mammoth. Milius slammed his script down and barked, "That's him!" Your teenage jaw hit the floor. Just like that, your future hero was born. His triumphal roar echoed through your stereo speakers. Fact number 2. Arnold Unleashed. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Muscles streaming like river rapids, lions bowing to steel, legends formed in sweat. Ever felt your heart pound at that guttural roar? He spoke, he roared, he conquered. That booming accent cemented Conan as your midnight hero. In '82, you sat clutching the remote, wide-eyed as Arnie's gravelly voice echoed through your speakers. Every "you weakling" drove nostalgia through your veins, reminding you of VHS nights and epic daydreams. It still sends chills decades later. Brutal, primal, unforgettable. And buddy, lean in close. This next twist packs more punch than a barbarian brawl. Fact number 3. The voice that broke the bank.
Among you still fears death.
James Earl Jones's voice came at a king's ransom, more than Arnie's acting fee. Remember your dad's raised eyebrow when you begged for another VHS rental? On set, Milius pleaded with Jones to drop his rate so the budget wouldn't bleed out. Legend says Jones only agreed after Milius threatened to scrap the opening narration entirely. That booming timbre you felt in your chest on first watch, it cost the studio a small fortune and anchored the entire epic. Fact number 4. The Vanished Skull Crusher. 30 seconds of skull-crushing carnage vanished into the cutting room floor. You watch Conan snap necks with gleeful abandon, but early prints buried a longer bone-smashing sequence. Too graphic for '82 ratings boards. Swinging skulls and dripping marrow got digitally erased, while studio execs insisted on more heroic close-ups, less gore. Milius roared that a Hyborian saga without savagery was like a sword without an edge. The final cut still left you breathless, just shy of pure, unfiltered brutality. Fact number 5. Spear of Doom. Arnold nearly got skewered by a malfunctioned spear, just inches from his leg. You remember gripping the couch edge as Conan hurled that spear into the fray. On set, the prop's metal tip snapped mid-throw, lodging dangerously close to Schwarzenegger's calf. The crew froze for a heartbeat before Arnie calmly stepped aside, wiped sweat from his brow, and barked, "Cut!" Production shut down for 2 hours of frantic safety checks. That near miss makes every replay like a pulse pounder. Fact number 6. Wooden Blade Wonder. A broken prop blade turned into the movie's most iconic sword. Picture your teenage self marveling at Conan's gleaming blade. When the master sword shattered during a climactic take, Arnie grabbed a rough-hewn wooden spare and pressed on. John Milius loved the raw, unpolished look. It felt more primal, more Conan. So every sword fight scene kept that splintered stick. You might have thought it was intentional craftsmanship, but it was pure, unscripted movie magic. An on-the-fly moment etched into legend. And just when you thought your heart could rest, brace for the next wild twist. Fact number 7. Forbidden Love. A full-on romance scene between Conan and Valeria got the axe. Think back to your late-night VHS ritual, binging barbarian battles. And there's a steamy interlude you never saw. Arnie and Sandal Bergman shot a torch-lit embrace so intense the editor's jaws dropped. Test audiences blushed. and the studio cut it for pacing and appropriate blood-to-bump ratio. Milius fought to keep their chemistry, but the final cut stayed relentless and unyielding. No love scenes, just pure steel. Fact number 8. Desert Stampede. Horses bolted off into the dunes, cameras rolling wild. You likely thought the Zingara chase was choreographed perfection. During the desert sequence, overheating cameras and spooked mounts sent riders and crew scrambling across scorching sands. The cameramen hopped into dune buggies, capturing the horses' unscripted flight. Milius watched the chaos unfold, then shrugged and declared, "It's organic." Those raw, unplanned gallops made the final cut an authentic pulse of unexpected Hyborian fury. Fact number 9. Musical Mayhem. Basil Poldoris composed Conan's musical Mayhem. Basil Poldoris composed Conan's epic score from the back of a moving van amid sandstorms. Imagine replaying that thunderous theme on your boombox, goosebumps and stereo speakers shaking your room. Legend has it, Poldoris scribbled notes as cameras rattled and dunes whipped by, editing melodies on cassette amidst the tumult. Your teenage self memorized that opening flourish, heart pounding in the darkness. His horn motif became an anthem for armchair warriors everywhere. It's pure nostalgia in every note. Retro magic that still stirs the soul. Fact number 10. Pencil-packed speech. Conan's famous monologue was inked on the shooting script at dawn. Penned in pencil. Picture your worn VHS cover, ready for another night of swordplay. At sunrise, Milius dashed into the editing room and rewrote,
Steel isn't strong, boy.
What is steel compared to? Speech, by hand, then marched onto set with the scrawled pages. Schwarzenegger memorized it in minutes and delivered that gravelly declaration in one take. That spontaneous rewrite became one of cinema's most quoted speeches, proof that raw creativity trumps polish. And just when you thought it couldn't get any wilder, fact number 11, Frozen Fury. Arnold trained in Sub-Zero Norway drills and nearly lost a toe to frostbite. You remember shivering under blankets as Conan trudged through ice in your living room. To capture genuine brutality, Schwarzenegger endured mountaintop workouts and biting winds, his breath fogging the lens. When frostbite threatened, he shrugged on Conan's boots and pressed on, teeth chattering but spirit unbroken. Every snow-laden shot you've replayed isn't staged. It's real endurance carved into film. I'll show you blood and ice, he'd have roared. Fact number 12. Real bone caves. The skull-strewn cave used genuine animal bones, not foam. Think back to how archaic that temple felt as you hit rewind again and again. The production sourced animal skeletons from a butcher, cleaned and bleached before stacking hundreds of skulls. Activists threatened to shut it down before Milius decreed, "If Conan lives in a savage world, it better look savage." Those rattling bones under torchlight weren't props, they were the real marrow of cinematic savagery. Fact number 13. The Collectible Axe craze. Conan's axe design sparked a real-world frenzy. Fans spent small fortunes on replicas. Picture your basement shelf lined with VHS tapes and vintage action figures. Now imagine lining it with rusted steel, dents, and faux blood. Each axe stamped Conan 1982. Prop artisans hand-weathered every blade so it looked battle-worn. Today, collectors swap them like trading cards, some fetching upward of $2,000. That rough-hewn weapon you admired on screen became a totem of your teenage obsession, and a holy grail for nostalgia hunters everywhere. Heck, I wish I had one. Fact number 14. From box office flop to cult deity. Conan grossed just $40 million theatrically, then exploded on VHS and cable. You remember renting it for $1 on weekend sleepovers, right? Studios grimaced at opening numbers, but fans embraced midnight showings and taped it until the tape frayed. By '85, Conan conventions rivaled Comic-Con, complete with sword fights in hotel ballrooms and fan-made furs. What once seemed like a gamble became a cultural bedrock, proof that true barbarian spirit thrives long after the credits roll. And just when you thought your helmet couldn't ring any louder, Fact number 15. No wires, all guts. Every flip into the snake pit was real. No CGI or harnesses. Remember your pulse racing as Conan vaulted over serpents? Stuntman Sven Thorson abandoned wires and welcomed real danger, vaulting twice into tanks of writhing snakes. During one take, a loose fang grazed his arm, drawing blood on camera. The crew held their breath. Milius cracked a rare smile and yelled, "That's the shot!" Your living room floor felt like that pit. Heart-hammering, skin-tingling, and genuine peril. Fact number 16. The narrator knockout. 4 legendary voices tried Conan's opening. Only James Earl Jones survived. Picture Marlon Brando mumbling lines in a velvet chair. Then Orson Welles bass-flattening boom mics. Early mixes sounded like a baritone earthquake. Finally, Jones stepped up, his rich baritone giving the world-weary gravitas Conan demanded. When his narration rolled, it felt like an oracle speaking through sandstorms, anchoring your wildest fantasies. Without that voice, your VHS nights might have lost their thunder and left a silent void. Hang on to your helm, the saga's about to cut even deeper. Fact number 17. The mermaid cut. A topless mermaid nearly swam behind Conan. PG-13 be damned. Picture you, wide-eyed in the darkness, rewinding for that heroic river rescue. Rumor has it, Milius filmed unseen extras draped only in reeds, gliding behind Schwarzenegger's broad back. Test audiences blushed so hard that the studio spliced out every flicker of mysterious shapes. That fleeting underwater silhouette you thought was just reflection? It was an oceanic siren lost to censorship, leaving your mind to fill in the haunting mystery. Fact number 18. Future Mad Max in the crowd. A young Mel Gibson sneaked in as an uncredited extra. Next time you scan the Zingara marketplace, look for a lean Aussie grin lurking beside the merchants. Gibson, not yet drenched in leather or post-apocalypse grit, wandered into a street scene for fun, and Milius kept him in the shot. Decades later, fans spotted him, crowning Conan the Barbarian as the unwitting debut of one of cinema's iconic anti-heroes. If that ripple caught you off guard, prepare for the tsunami. Fact number 19. Playboy among the bones. A vintage Playboy peeked from a tavern skull pile. You've paused on that dimly lit bar scene a dozen times. I know you have. Bones piled like trophies. Torches flickering shadows. Tucked behind the femurs is an April '82 issue, its cover blurred by grit. Continuity missed it, and savvy fans spotted the risque magazine daring to stand out in Conan's savage realm. That cheeky Easter egg feels like the filmmakers winking at your past midnight VHS hunts. Fact number 20. The cursed chainmail. Sandal Bergman's metal bikini was rumored to bite back. Actress and warrior Valeria donned that gleaming chainmail bra, only to report bruises, pinches, and nights of strange scratches. One wardrobe malfunction left her temporarily trapped. Metal rings tightened like a steel vise. She joked that it had a life of its own, like an angry serpent around my chest. Decades later, that cursed costume remains one of the saga's most bizarre legacies, proof that even armor can have a savage sense of humor. Conan's world wasn't just forged in steel. It was hammered out by real chaos, wild stunts, and unfiltered barbarian spirit. Bonus fact, puppy power. A stray pup wandered onto set during lunch and instantly stole Schwarzenegger's heart. Arnie named him Conan Jr. and snuck him into a tavern scene. Pause on the far right and you'll spot puppy ears peeking above a barrel. The little mutt became the unofficial set mascot, riding home in Milius' trailer each night and earning a cameo credit on the VHS sleeve. If these savage secrets stirred your blood, lock and load that like button. Tell us your wildest Conan memory in the comments. Did you rewind for puppy ears or muscle marathons? Subscribe now for more brutal trivia from cinema's frontier lands.